Thank you very much, DG Williams. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of various media houses, even those who are freelancing. Thank you, as always, in responding promptly for this exercise. The statement from the Cabinet is as follows. First, we deal with the economy. The Cabinet has welcomed the recent positive developments in the country's interventions aimed at stimulating economic growth. According to the recent unemployment figures from South Africa, unemployment decreased from 35.3% in the fourth quarter of 2021 to 34.5% in the first quarter of 2022. The expanded unemployment rate has declined for a second quarter in a row. The biggest job gains were in community and social services, manufacturing and trade. The gross domestic product in the first quarter of 2022 grew by 1.9%, which takes the size of our economy to pre-pandemic levels. Over the quarter, the manufacturing sector was the economy's key performer, with an increase in the production of petroleum and chemicals, food and beverages, and metals and machinery. These moderate gains, ladies and gentlemen, show that our economy remains robust and that interventions such as economic reconstruction and recovery plan are gaining momentum. Cabinet calls on everyone to support local businesses and industries by buying local products and services. Cabinet also welcomed the decision by the rating agency S&P Global to revise South Africa's credit rating outlook from stable to positive. Rating agency also affirmed the long-term foreign and local currency debt ratings at BB- and BB respectively. On the cost of living, the coronavirus disease pandemic and the ongoing global conflict have had a severe impact on the cost of living worldwide. South Africans, too, are frustrated by rising prices of fuel, food, and essentials. We all need to pull together, help each other, and save our resources in this difficult time. Government is doing everything in its power to provide relief for everyone, especially the poor. Our well-functioning, strong, and independent South African Reserve Bank is helping to shield society from ravages of inflation by keeping it within a narrow target range, well below what many other countries are currently experiencing. Cabinet welcomed the decision by National Treasury to grant an extension of the reduction in the general fuel levy. The general fuel levy was cut by R1.50 a litre for April and May and will be further extended from 1st June to 6th July 2022. Cabinet also welcomed the decision of the Competition Commission to closely monitor prices of essential food items, particularly the provision that businesses should justify their price increases. On the Japan-South Africa Business Forum, Cabinet welcomed the outcome of the recent Japan-South Africa Business Forum, which agreed to an ambitious work program that includes collaboration on green industrialization, electric vehicle technologies, and green hydrogen. The forum also agreed to a virtual roadshow to highlight South African opportunities to more Japanese businesses, skills development in the local auto industry, work streams on manufacturing opportunities, and the exchange of technical experiences. Japan is one of our most important trade partners and a leading investor in a number of South African sectors, ranging from automobiles to advanced mining machinery and from agribusinesses to financial services. Cabinet also welcomed the establishment of the Black Exporters Network by Department of Trade, Industry and Competition to bring together black-owned firms which are currently exporting locally made goods to other parts of the world. The network will enable the sharing of information, experience, and know-how and builds on successes with the Black Industrialist Program. On the energy, our long-term energy security has been given a massive boost following the commercial handover of Unit 4 at Kusile Power Station in Mpumalanga. This handover marks another milestone in Eskom's efforts to stabilize the power system and will add 800 megawatts to the power grid. Cabinet noted that the construction of 4 out of 6 generation units had been completed at the Kusile Power Station project. Cabinet welcomed the addition of new generation capacity to the grid, which was made possible by the decision to allow independent power producers to produce electricity. Government recently signed an agreement to buy 150 megawatts of capacity from a renewable power producer, Scatec ASA. I beg your pardon. I can get water. On the broad-based Black Economic Empowerment Advisory Council, Cabinet welcomed the appointment by President Cyril Ramaphosa of the country's new BBBE Advisory Council. The council comprises a diverse group of people from business, trade unions, community-based organizations, and academia who will be responsible for guiding government on the transformation of the economy. While there has been remarkable progress in reversing apartheid's distortions on the economy, more work will still need to be done in increasing Black management control, upscaling skills development, and broadening procurement to give opportunities to Black women and youth. In the area of foods, ongoing government relief efforts in the provinces affected by the recent devastating floods. I beg your pardon, on the floods, that's the heading. Ongoing government relief efforts in the provinces affected by the recent devastating floods are making a significant impact. Government has prioritized the provision of food, water, and shelter for displaced people and the repair of damaged infrastructure. Extensive work is underway to restore basic services such as water, electricity, sanitation, and waste removal. About 217 million is being used for the upgrading of the informal settlement program aimed at improving the quality of life of informal settlement dwellers. An additional 733 billion has been allocated through the Human Settlement Development Grant to assist in the creation of sustainable integrated human settlements. 733 million, my apology. Cabinet welcomed the humanitarian aid from the state of Qatar in the form of foodstuff, clothing, generators, water purifiers, ventilators, tents, and medical supplies. The donation will benefit over 4,000 citizens temporarily housed in community care centers. Cabinet also welcomed humanitarian aid from United Arab Emirates in the form of foodstuff and water to assist victims of recent floods. On the launch of Social Development Fund, Cabinet welcomed the launch of Social Employment Fund by the Industrial Development Corporation in partnership with Presidency and the DTIC. The support will provide bridging employment opportunities for up to 50,000 young persons in socially useful work being done in the local communities. The support will include health and community care, food and nutrition support like soup kitchens, promotion of literacy, greening and climate change mitigation programs, as well as youth support initiatives. The fund will support 26 community and not-for-profit enterprises. In the area of crime and corruption, Cabinet welcomed the arrest of several individuals in connection with fraud, money laundering and corruption. These include former high-ranking state and parastatal employees, some of whom face charges relating to the contravention of the Public Finance Management Act. 1999 Act. The arrest, which includes that of a Home Affairs official at the Desmond Tutu Refugee Reception Center in Pretoria, who allegedly accepted a bribe from a foreign national, bear testimony to the fact that no one is above the law and that there is no space for dishonest employees in the public sector. Cabinet also welcomed the progress being made on the extradition of the Gupta brothers, Rajesh and Atul, back to South Africa. Actually, that process of bringing them back is under negotiation. This follows their recent arrest at the Dubai in the UAE after the International Criminal Police Organization, which is Interpol, had issued red notices. The brothers are wanted in South Africa in connection with their alleged role in state capture, including fraud and money laundering. Discussions between law enforcement agencies in the UAE and South Africa on their extradition are underway. Their arrests demonstrate government's determination to fight crime and corruption without fear or favor. These arrests demonstrate that processes and mechanisms are working effectively to hold perpetrators accountable for their heinous actions and ensure that no one is above the law. Cabinet condemned the blatant attempt to undermine our economy and country following the malicious damage to a cable at Unit 1 of Eskom's Matla power station in Mpumalanga. This was the fourth incident of the suspected sabotage at the power station after similar incidents were reported at 3 other power stations in the past few weeks. The recent crime statistics are a reflection that we must do more as society to make our communities safer. This reality reminds us that reducing crime is a societal responsibility and that all of us, including the police, political leaders, communities, families, business people, workers and civil society, should play our part in fighting crime. Cabinet is confident that the additional funds that have been prioritized by the Minister of Police for a number of police stations has a high number of that have a high number of murders, rapes and other violent crime will help turn the tide and create safer communities for all. On the update on COVID-19, Cabinet reminded everyone that COVID-19 has not been eradicated and the risk of new infections will increase during the winter season. We must continue to take all the necessary precautions to safeguard ourselves and other people. These include washing or sanitizing hands regularly, wearing a mask when indoors, keeping a safe social distance, opening windows for ventilation and vaccination. On the African Union, Cabinet welcomed the declaration, pledges and commitments adopted at the AU Extraordinary Summit on Terrorism and Unconstitutional Changes in Africa held in Malabo, Republic of Equatorial Guinea on Saturday, 28 May this year. African leaders assessed the persistent threats, evaluated current response mechanisms, and committed to strengthening the collective security of member states facing terrorism and violent extremism. On the monkeypox disease, Cabinet assured South Africans that our health authorities are on high alert to monitor and prevent monkeypox disease following its outbreak in several non-endemic countries. Although no positive cases has so far been detected or reported in our country, health authorities in the country continue to monitor the situation very closely. On the Cabinet decisions pertaining to public consultation on measures to deal with illegal trading on scrap metal, Cabinet approved that public consultation be undertaken on proposal to restrict the trade of illegally obtained scrap and processed metals. The theft of scrap metal and copper cable from public infrastructure hinders the performance of the economy by imposing enormous costs. Some of the disruptions include supply of energy and rail services due to vandalized rail tracks. They impose additional transport costs on commuters due to disrupted commuter transport. Vandalized and unsecured electricity cables pose a safety risk to communities, especially children. Cabinet directed that the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition should lead the consultation within a limited period and solicit inputs from the public and relevant sectors on effective measures that government can implement to stop the vandalizing of critical economic infrastructure. Thereafter, Cabinet will pronounce on the approved measures. On the upcoming events, United Nations Partnership for Technology, Peace and International Symposium, South Africa will host this symposium at the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research in Pretoria from Tuesday 21 to February 24, June 22. It is expected to be attended by 300 delegates from 50 member states. The symposium brings together all interested military, police, and civilians from the United Nations member states to collaborate in the use of modern advanced technologies and concepts in UN-led field missions. The symposium will be used as an information sharing and brainstorming platform for United Nations member states involved in peacekeeping initiatives on the usage of the latest technologies in peacekeeping missions. The 4th World Skills South Africa Biennial National Competition. The 4th World Skills South Africa Biennial National Competition is being held at the Inkosi Albert Luthuli International Convention Center in KwaZulu-Natal from 7 to 10 June 2022 under the theme Ratcheting Up the Production of 21st Century Artisans. The event is used to promote artisan skills as a vital career choice, as well as to open up potential partnership with the industry. It is also used to assess the level of our apprenticeship and artisan development, in addition to advocating for the uptake of artisan careers as career of the first choice by our students. Special messages, condolences. Cabinet joined President Cyril Ramaphosa, His Excellency, in extending condolences to the royal family and the nation of the Amampondo Kingdom following the passing of His Majesty King Zanozugo Jelovuyo Stau Azanozugo. On the area of appointment, cabinets, all appointments are subject to the verification of qualification and the relevant clearance. The following appointments have taken place: Mr. Jacob Ganimbele as Director General at the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy, Ms. Phumeza Nwabi Sanotata as Deputy DG, Forest Management at the Department of Forestry, Fisheries and Environment, Ms. Susan Mafanedza Masapu as Chief State Law Advisor in the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development, Ms. Doris Tsepe as Commissioner in the Competition Commission, Dr. Alex Mehapa as full-time Special Advisor to the Acting Minister of Public Service and Administration, Advocate Rams Ramashia as part-time Special Advisor to the Acting Minister of Public Service and Administration. I just want to explain something on the Guptas. The sentence can give an impression that they are on the way to South Africa, the way it is written. I just want to state that the process is, there's a negotiation in that regard. Until those negotiations are concluded, we don't know whether they are coming or not. But at least now we know they are under arrest. I thought it is important to clarify that, because an impression can be given in that sentence that they are on the way coming here. Thank you very much, DJ.
Thank you very much, Minister. The statement is being sent out by our team. I believe the members of the media who are online were asking for the statement, so it is being sent out. At this point, we will now entertain questions, and I believe Lizelle is going to help us with the questions. Thank you.
Yes, Reggie. Thank you. We have 5 questions from 4 different individuals. Savajri from Jacaranda FM asks, did Cabinet discuss the non-payment of SRD grants from April to May, and if so, what was the conclusion? The Institute for Economic Justice says the agreement with the banks has not been signed. How far is the process to ensure that grants are paid to beneficiaries by mid-June? Business Report asks, what is the government's position toward finding new sources of oil in a bid to curb the rise in fuel prices, excluding the reduction of the general fuel levy, because that may not be sustainable long term? The second question is there any indication that SA, South Africa, may in future import oil outside OPEC cartel and directly from Russia, since Moscow is selling oil at a discount to BRICS partners, including India and China? The third individual from Fin24 asks, is Cabinet concerned at all about the inclusion of Progressive Professionals Forum leadership to the Triple BEE Advisory Council due to the organization's ties to Mzwalele Manye and their opposition to National Treasury's intervention on the ill-fated VBS Mutual Bank? And then the last question in this round is from Marvin Charles from News 24. Did the Cabinet discuss the robbery at the President's Farm in February 2020, that there was a security breach and the fact that the President's safety was compromised? And what decision did Cabinet take to track the suspects in question? The other questions we will leave over to the second round.
Thank you very much. Minister, you have 5.
Well, to Jacaranda on the SRD, this is not the matter that the Cabinet entertained. But all I want to confidently say, this government will always fulfill whatever undertaking it has in this regard. If there was a period of non-payment, which is unfortunately inconveniencing, I think upfront, if that is there, on behalf of this government, we'll make that apology. But as long as those SRD are due in line with the commitment the President made, they will be paid. That's the general response I can give on that. On the new sources of oil, I'm sure you will understand, this is a business report, am I right? Yeah. The commitment of this government is to 2050 zero emission on carbon. So everything we do now should always be in line with that. There's a general principle that we are moving away from fossil fuel. All I want to say is that this government will go tirelessly in ensuring that we find the best possible offer in as far as energy requirements are concerned in the country. But I wouldn't be specific with which forum are we going to stay in or stay out. But the principle is that everything will be done by the relevant departments, that is Mineral and Energy and Finance, to do everything possible based on the circumstances that we're confronted with. And the sort of the inflation that this is actually important to our country to get possible offers. How specifically they are going to do that, I would not want to make that comment, but I've got no doubt government is actually spending a sleepless night on that. On the inclusion of the business forum, I think anyone who is in the council is treated in his individual capacity as a business person. A lot of people who are in that council belong in one way or another to different, what to call for. And that forum is going to have its principles on the basis of which it's going to be governed. Whatever you do in that forum, you'll be judged in that. For instance, we have appointed in the Reserve Bank former ANC people who have never disappointed in ensuring that they run the Reserve Bank in line with its principle. And I want to guess that this will be no difference. On the issue of the president, it is correct to say the briefing was done, but there's nothing the cabinet, it shouldn't go beyond briefing, because already it's a matter, the matter of the robbery in the president's precinct is under the law enforcement agencies. They are actually investigating the matter. Financial institutions are investigating the matter. And then the approach is that let's leave it to all those institutions until we are clarified what their outcome is going to be. Then we can actually cross that bridge when we reach it. That's all I can say about the president's situation.
Thank you, Minister. We will take a second round. Lizelle.
The second round of questions is as follows. We'll start with Linda's question from Business Day. What are the types of, or the type of measures on the table which have been proposed by the Department of Trade and Industry and Competition to deal with theft and trade in critical economic infrastructure? The second question comes from Christian from Netwerk 24. Can Minister Gungubele please clarify, is there thus no guarantee that the Guptas will be extradited to South Africa? Those are all the questions.
Okay. Types of measures for the scrap metal and Guptas.
Thank you very much. I think if you look at our statement, we are announcing a process with regard to dealing with the illegality of the use of scrap metal in South Africa, to actually deal with the negative impact it has in our economy. The process in that regard is actually in the statement. Over and above that, the Competition Commission will always play its relevant role whenever that is encountered. But in terms of the infrastructure damage, it's law enforcement agency. It's also a call upon society to assist and inform us wherever that tendency rears its head, and the scrap metal bill is actually has been announced. The process where we are saying, by the president said, we must do it with speed, and then the sooner we have a measure on this matter because of the economic damage in the country, the better. The second question was?
Is there no guarantee that the Guptas will be brought back?
Oh, no, we don't have that guarantee. But the relationship that occurs between us and the UAE, one expects something better, because I guess I'll be surprised, taking into account the principles and the code of the Interpol, because the Interpol is to make sure that countries work together in dealing with crime. I'll be surprised if it does not lead to them coming here at all. Because I'll also be surprised if they are not arrested on the basis of exactly what they did in South Africa. But I wouldn't say there's a guarantee, because that's not a simple process, by the way. Thank you. Maybe it is also important, TG, to say, because I just said we were briefed on the president. The president took the cabinet to confidence in the matter. It's important to actually state that. Thank you.
We usually take 2 rounds, but I don't know whether Lizelle has got other burning questions. If Minister agrees, you're fine.
Seems like that was the last round.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
No other questions.
Thank you very much, Minister. It appears you were very clear. Let me thank the members of the media until we meet again next time. Thank you.